The Samsung Galaxy A56 is a long-anticipated smartphone, and it is finally official. Let's see what it brings to the table. Many of those who are looking at a phone like the Galaxy A56 are interested in eSIM support. So let's answer that question first. Does the A56 support eSIM? Yes. That's the good news. The A56 supports eSIM. Now, let's get on to some other exciting details about this mid-range smartphone. Samsung has announced that the Galaxy A56 is also getting 6 years of major Android support. 6 whopping years. Now, take note that this phone launches with One UI 7.0 based on Android 15. 6 years of software update means that it will get Android 16, Android 17, Android 18, Android 19, Android 20, and Android 21. So, if you buy this, you are going to be getting software updates for it all the way through till the year 2031. And that sounds fantastic if you ask me. This is a $499 smartphone after all. It comes in 2 storage options, 128 gig storage, 256 gig storage. There is only one option of RAM. I was hoping that we would get 12 gigabyte RAM, at the upper layer. But well, Samsung has given us only 8 gigabyte of RAM. We'll just have to make do with that. Now, the Galaxy A56 also comes with IP67 dust and water protection, meaning it is protected from dust and it is protected from splashes, from drops, and from being immersed in water, but of no deeper than 1 meter and for no more than 30 minutes. So if your phone happens to drop into a bowl of water, a bucket, a small pool that's not deeper than 1 meter, it can survive being submerged in it for at least 30 minutes. What about performance? I have mentioned that it comes with only 8 gigabyte of RAM. For performance, this is the first smartphone that is using the Exynos 1580 chipset from Samsung. That means that there is nothing to compare it with pretty much to say how exactly to perform. But Samsung says that the Exynos 1580 chipset brings a big improvement compared to the chipset in the Galaxy A56 predecessor. If we take Samsung's word for it, that will be significant performance to handle most tasks, minus the most demanding. Now, I am a fan of compact smartphones, and the Galaxy A56 is not compact. It has a massive 6.7-inch Super AMOLED display that is protected by a sheet of Gorilla Glass Victus. But it is an extremely thin smartphone. The thickness is only 7.4 millimeters. Now, in my experience, thin smartphones are handier than thick smartphones. So even when I can't get a compact smartphone, I try to make sure that it is thin. It just makes it easier to handle. So while I have not handled Galaxy A56 yet, I am expecting that a 7.4 millimeter thickness will mean that it is handier than the average smartphone of the same size. Let's keep fingers crossed for that, right? Yeah. There's a 5,000 milliamp hour battery in there, which has been standard for about a year or two now. Most smartphones in the mid-range, in the entry-level category, have at least a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. So you should get good battery life out of this. For charging, Samsung has included 45 watt charging. That means, in practice, that you should be able to charge the Galaxy A56 from 0 to 65% in about 30 minutes and from 0 to 100 in about 68 to 70 minutes. That sounds lovely. I like it on paper. However, I reviewed the Samsung Galaxy A06 recently, and while Samsung says that guy had 25 watts fast charging, it did not. It charged pretty slowly. So, again, we're keeping fingers crossed for this. Time to switch over to see what the cameras have to offer. Nothing new, really. There are no significant changes from the Galaxy A56 predecessor. There's a 12 megapixel snapper in front for your selfies. There's a 50 megapixel main camera at the back. There's a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera along with it. And then there's a 5 megapixel macro lens. The big difference Samsung says is that all of these cameras, front and back, are powered by AI. And so it should get you better results, better details, better performance. We're keeping fingers crossed for that. The Samsung Galaxy A56 comes in 4 color schemes. There's graphite, there's olive, there's pink, and there's gray. It looks like a good enough layout for you to choose to find something that you love. If you like bright, there's bright. If you like it cool and calm, the options are there for you. I must not forget to mention that there is no memory card slot in this phone. So you're stuck with the 128 gigabyte storage or 256 gigabyte storage that you buy. And then you can fall back on online storage for your backups. Thankfully, the fingerprint scanner is in display, not in the power button. I can't wait for side-mounted fingerprint scanners to die. The A56 has one in the display, and that's good news for me. I hope it's good news for everyone else. What are we talking about pricing? US residents, I have good news for you. The A56 is coming to the United States. For now, we have information only about one variant, the 128 gigabyte variant. I'm not sure, perhaps to avoid competition with other Samsung phones that are a little bit above the A56, Samsung is not offering the 256 gigabyte version in the US. That's a conjecture. I'm filling in the blanks. But for now, we know that you're getting 8 gig RAM, 128 gig storage in the United States, and that will cost $499. In the United Kingdom, the 256 gigabyte variant will sell for £499. The guys in the European Union are getting both variants. The lower variant with 128 gig storage costs €479, while the higher variant with 256 gig storage costs €529. I'm not sure why they get all the options, and while the UK and the US, I'm trying not to do the job of filling in the blanks, but this is the information we have available. If more details are released later and there are options available, we'll talk about that later as well. So this is the Samsung Galaxy A56. It's a mid-range device at a nice sweet spot in terms of pricing that offers a whole lot of features that look good and exciting, and we hope that they live up to expectations. I'll see you in my next video.